Just also it's gonna be running right now. There we go.
Yeah.
So in the last part, I was doing a Wind Waker video, and now I'm over it. This is like the other content part of today, right? This is gonna be like for 50 minutes. You know, whoever gets the notification gets the notification, and I just got the notification that I'm live. It said, "This is." It's not like on a different account, right? It's the same one. It says mobile live dashboard. Anyways, I'm gonna, I'm gonna hide myself because I'm gonna bite into this mango and like spit out the bone piece. There. I'm gonna have mango on my face now. So like, you know, if you're disgusted by that, I suggest you leave now. Now. Anyways, let's start again.
How many doors did
Please
you open
like
today?
and subscribe.
Compared to last
Creeps
week,
MC
month,
Pasta
or year?
if you're
What
watching.
about your entire lifetime? The answer to that is probably many. Yet, if you're listening to this now, probably not enough of them. So, consider yourself lucky. Or luckier than me, at any rate.
I
Now, it
hate the
all
writing
kind of
so far.
started about 5 months ago. It was a usual day.
It's like, how many doors have you walked through? Yeah, I walked through the wrong one. I can fucking gloat about what I went through. Like, that's the kind of tone it's giving me. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna berate this video. I hate people that write that way. It's like so elitist. I don't know why. It's like, yeah, I walked through a door. I almost died. Now I'm telling you my story. Like, what the fuck? Like, nobody talks like that. Like, like especially when something like dramatic happens. Unless like you're me. I'm just kidding. Imagine, imagine if I make some sort of stupid exception. My mango is invisible. But you're gonna see mango. Wait, if I rub mango on my face, will I turn invisible? Let's find out throughout the video. Anyways, just saying because I hate the writing already of this
Wake
creepypasta.
up, go to work, be bored out of my mind. Only, it was a night. I worked the night shift at a small pawn shop, and the night passed at a glacial pace. That's usually good news, as I'd browsed the internet on my phone. But my charger did that thing when you sleep, and it just bloody disconnects, leaving you with no battery to speak of. And me being me, I didn't notice until I got to work. Great. So, I was alone.
That's so cliche. I didn't check my phone. Now I'm in this.
Bored out of my mind for some 10 hours. But the night eventually
What if the
passed.
footage gets me fucking
A
copyright
coworker
struck?
came in as morning
Not even
breakfast,
the
so
audio,
I left.
just the fucking footage.
On my way to the car, I stopped at a local
Please
mart
don't
and grabbed a couple
copyright
of
me.
sandwiches and a water bottle. I was too lazy to make myself something to eat when I get home, so I figured I'd just wolf down the sandwiches and go to sleep. The commute was only 10 minutes long, and it passed in a blur, as I couldn't be bothered to pay
It's
attention
like
to
green in
anything.
the back. I don't know how
My
it's
mind
doing
melted under
this.
the boredom, to the point that I couldn't wait to get home and plug my phone in to watch some YouTube.
I'm in
I pulled
mango,
into
by the
my
way.
driveway and went for the entrance, fumbling for my keys.
Mm-hmm.
When I finally found them, I opened the door and entered, still not paying attention to my surroundings.
I want to get my keys.
Had I been a little less negligent, had I looked inside before going in, my life would have been so different today. But I didn't. The door clicked shut behind me, and I made my way to the kitchen through the corridor. I was also searching through my backpack for one of the sandwiches. I finally noticed something was off when I reached for the place where the table
No
should have been,
way.
but I didn't bump into it.
I went right through the
There was
wall. I'm
supposed
just
to be a chair
kidding.
here for me to sit down and eat my meal, but there was nothing. I looked up frantically and noticed the table was gone entirely, along with all of the furniture in my kitchen. The drawers, the fridge, even the damn sink. Not a trace of them remained. I was dumbfounded, to say the least. Did someone break in and steal everything while I was gone? But why? How? On a closer inspection, though, I realized it hadn't been thieves because the sink's drain was gone, replaced by a smooth wall instead. No one could have done this in the 10 hours I was at work. And even if they could have, I couldn't fathom a reason for them to. Looking up, I saw the
That could have
logo
been
was gone
written
as
way
well.
better.
At that point, I started freaking out badly, because light still emanated from where I used to be. I grabbed my backpack and ran to the front door,
Like, there's
hastily
no
opening
way.
it.
Like,
The street
in the story, you wouldn't
was
describe it that
gone.
way. Like, oh, look, did he just...
In its place, only another empty room. I let out a yelp of surprise.
Hold up, did he just say the sink was gone for, like, the
The
second
street
fucking... Oh, the street,
was
okay.
gone.
Like, the sink was
In
gone
its place,
again?
only another
No
empty
way.
room. I let out a yelp of surprise mixed with fear as I froze in the doorway. What the hell was going on? Remembering my phone, I pulled it out and prayed that it still had some battery, but I was out of luck. The thing was dead. I took a few minutes
Cliche.
to calm down and decide what to do.
It's like the cliche thing with, like, the phone sucked all the battery out of my video camera, so I couldn't catch any more fucking footage of the ghost. Oh, right? It's like that
Smoothed
cliche
out
sort of
after a
thing.
while, and
Or like...
I felt confident enough not to have a panic attack.
Oh,
So,
fuck. What was
I
the
closed my
cliche thing?
eyes and
Like,
opened the door
princesses
again.
wear, like, dresses. Like, that's cliche,
Still,
too.
a room instead of the street.
Although,
Crap.
not as cliche, because it's more, like, well-regarded, because
I
it's, like, a
explored the
known
rest of the
fact,
house,
right?
hoping to find something that would have helped me understand. But every room was the same story. All the furniture was gone. The walls were uncharacteristically smooth and featureless, and the light bulbs were nowhere to be seen, even
Fun
though
fact,
there
so
was
is my
plenty
brain.
of light to go around. I had hoped against all odds that I'd find my landline phone in the living room, but I think you can guess how well that went. I don't know how much time I spent curled up on the floor of the living room, just crying. And I don't know how much time I spent opening and closing the front door, hoping it would finally reveal the street to me. Many hours at any rate, until I finally gave up and decided to take a leap of faith. I entered the room the front door led to, closed it behind me, and opened the door again. Now my corridor was gone, its place taken by a small room with a singular door on the other side. If someone would have been there with me, they could have...
Hold up. Okay. Let's stop here. Okay, I should have, like, I should have done that off. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be... Well, I'm done eating now. I won't fucking do weird stuff like that where, like, I look way fucking dumb. But, like... basically what I was gonna say is, like... I'm gonna go wash my face. I have to pause it here because I also want to listen to this, because, not gonna lie, it's a little boring so far, but I can feel it's gonna get better. You know what this needs though? It needs some music. Definitely needs some music. Not gonna lie, the music would probably help out. And it also doesn't help that that tone is just deadpan, just like same fucking tone. It's like, fuck. I need to read a block of text. Here, let's read this. Maggie's father is the father of Maggie, who lives on Windfall Island, in the Wind Waker. When Link first meets him, he is the poorest man on Windfall Island. He begs Link to help his daughter, who was kidnapped by the Hamrock King and taken to the Forsaken Fortress. He complains about how he is unable to make money without his daughter, and he wants them to pay. It's like so deadpan like that. Like, it's like just emphasis in like two areas per sentence or something. It doesn't help out either. But like, I mean, I like his accent. I'll tell you that. So I'll come back. It's just like certain stories work with certain people. That's why there's like multiple people too, right? Like, what's his name? There's that other British guy. Like other American. Scary. Wait, I just wait. No, fucking last thing I think is that Zelda was on, because like I was playing Zelda a few minutes ago, and like the capture card is still like outputting signals and stuff and playing the game. Pretty good. Nothing on. We can continue this. By the way, that mango I cut earlier, oh god, it was like so stiff. I've had that mango on my fucking little bowl shelf I put it in. for like the past 10 days, and it's still not mature. But I buy bananas, right? On day one, and they're already fucking rotting. Like, what is up with these fruit? Like, I think like bananas and mangoes should swap like shelf life, like straight up. Cause I prefer like bananas to keep them just there and display, and then like eat them like I don't know, like 3 or 4 days later in a milkshake or something. Than like eating like mangoes like 20 days after you fucking buy them or something. This is crazy how long mangoes stay like fresh. For reals. Maybe maybe I'm exaggerating how long. Maybe it's been like only 5 days and I just think it's 10. Maybe I'm crazy. But anyways, let's continue back.
Pointed out the exact.
Okay, forgot to give some background. This is usually I give background in these. So backrooms. Backrooms, they're like this creepypasta that came out like 2 or 3 years ago or something. I don't remember. I think they came out 2 or 3 years ago. Here, let me research it. On a different screen now. It's like the last thing I want is like something dumb to come out. Like backrooms, like fucking backrooms. Whoa, you want to go on backrooms XXX? Like, yeesh. Fuck. That was a bad room. A bad fucking joke. Excuse me. Bad room. That was a bad room. Backrooms. When did it come out? Fuck. Do they not like? I'm not looking for what because I already know. Not secure. No, thank you. Yeah, and 4chan, yeah, I feel like when. Yeah. No clipping out of the fucking. That was the stupidest thing about it. Okay, so let me just give you some fucking background. I'm gonna say like 3 years ago because it's almost been 3 years ago. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this creepypasta came out like around 3 to 2 years ago. Um, and the gist of the creepypasta is like you can no clip out of the world, whether you're like walking into like a hotel, opening a door, running into a wall, whatever. It just randomly happens, right? Um, there are. Well, I'd assume there's like so many people fucking bashing this fucking creepypasta, like, as in like making parodies, like, I'm a gamer, I'm so pro, I no clipped out of this fucking dimension. That's right, right? Uh, like, I don't know, I haven't heard ones yet or anything like that. Um, and I'd assume they won't probably make it like on the top page because they have to be like written in such a manner that they get put and voted up in the page, right? For Reddit or creepypastas or whatever that is originated from. Anyhow, basically the gist is that like you go into these back rooms, it's like a sort of like maze like area that looks the same or somewhat the same. It takes the concepts of fuck, what is it? Lucid? No, 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 no. Excuse me. Fuck. Landscapes, something landscapes. What are they called? Those landscapes that you think you've been at, but like you haven't. Fuck. Uh, landscape or scene or something like that. Lucille? What the fuck is Lucille? I don't even know what that one came to mind. Luminal. There we go. Luminal spaces. Yeah, which is like semi nostalgic. So it's not. It's like a place you think you've been or you think people would have been at, and like you're like, oh look, but it's like all empty and all that. Um, for example, let's bring this up. Where's the other Chrome tab? Whatever. Yeah, you see both of them. Nice. So let's go here. See, like kind of like this, right? You just like see weird stuff. This is the specific image they use. I think they're like, oh, the back rooms or whatever. And yeah, there's like three main levels to this. There's this room, then there's another room that looks more like you're in an office, not an office building, more like there's like concrete, and then there's a fourth level which looks more like this. But it's more metallic and you hear stuff. And across the three rooms you find their own set of creatures, and as you progress down the levels, the creatures get more hostile. You know, like video game type of crap. Like, oh, you're in level one, now you're level two, now you're level three, or actually it's level zero, then one, two, and that's it. According to last time, if I remember, um, level zero still has creatures, only enough for being level zero, and I'm not sure if it's actually referencing the minus worlds, right? Mario minus worlds, because like there's no way that didn't influence the creator's fucking thing. Yeah, world blank dash one or negative one. How you can clip and it's just like kind of like weird and glitchy and fucked up and whatnot. Not like this, right? More like the level just loops indefinitely. I bet you that totally fucking crossed their mind. Remember? Yeah, if I remember, that's how it worked, right? Level dash one, it just loops infinitely, if I remember. The timer goes down though, and you still see enemies. But like I have a feeling that's what influenced this creepypasta and how it originated. Because like there's no way it's too good to not have been sort of like influenced. If not, you know, it's somewhere along the line something similar of a concept must have influenced the guy that made it, right? But this isn't the backroom creepypasta or the one that started it, right? This is just like a backroom creepypasta, which is different. And something I also wanted to mention is that whereas a lot of creepypastas are like about the fucking creature chasing you down, right? A lot of the backroom creepypastas end up being more like about the place, right? Or the setting, rather than just like the fucking creature thing. But this one, unfortunately, is probably gonna focus on a creature or a thing. Gosh, my throat is burning. You know, I heard if like your throat burns in like your room, it means like you're breathing in a bunch of dust and nasty stuff. I'm probably gonna buy myself an air purifier. I don't know. And it's not because I've been talking a lot either. But yeah, what was the saying? Yeah. So unfortunately, I think this one's gonna focus on the thing rather than the setting, because like I like it when like you know there's like a mix up, right? Because like usually it's like Jeff the Killer, the Rake, what other one? Fucking Slenderman, I guess. Then let's see, what other one do I remember? Smile Dog. Fuck, I don't even remember the fucking original ones. There's that other one. Fucking what's his name? The clown one, that one fucking gets me. The one where like the kids they get fucking killed or something. That one's scary. Although that one focuses on an event, which is slightly better than like the thing, right? Um, but yeah, that's what I like about these creepypastas.
Moment.
Oh, we're not watching that because I like them, and we're just watching this just because I said I was gonna watch this on my horror stream or terror stream, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Hey guys, my scary stream I say right. A few days ago, and yeah, that's it. Let's continue watching.
My soul was shattered by the pop it made, but no one was there. I was all alone and lost in a twilight zone of empty rooms.
Oh, yeah, by setting, I'm really meant like atmosphere or
I sat
area,
down,
right?
pulled my backpack in my lap, and took a sip of water. I didn't feel hungry yet.
Oh, nice, just
so
music,
I
but boy,
decided
can't
not
hear
to
it.
touch the sandwiches. With only 2 of them and a liter of water, I had to make them last.
Nice, the music finally
My
kicked in.
mind went into survival mode, and I didn't know how long I'd be here or how to get out. I eventually decided to take a nap, as I was still tired from the night shift.
And you know, you can always scare me by pressing any
I
sound
decided I'd
effects.
have a better
Just
chance of
saying.
figuring things out if I was rested.
If you want to.
Sleep came swiftly.
Although,
but
I have a
as
feeling a
fun
lot of
as
the
room I
people.
was in.
Oh, wait, I don't want to block out this guy because like I'll pause. I'll start pausing whenever I want to talk and put it in my feedback, right? Because like his voice is really soft, kind of like mine, but like mine is like more high pitched today. I feel so like it's probably not gonna sound normal because like sometimes I talk like this and like this is how I talk, Or other times I like just higher my voice and then it just sounds really nasty, right? So what was I gonna say? I actually forgot. Oh yeah, yeah. I have a feeling a lot of people are like on mobile, so like they can't really use the sound app or whatever. So I mean, unless you can. Hold on, let me check. Let me check. Yeah, because let's see myself. We go in my stuff. Because like I know on desktop you definitely can, because it's free to scare me. Volume. There we go. Yeah. Actually, yeah, yeah. You can click on the little extension. Sound alerts. I mean, maybe it's on Android. I don't know. I thought a lot of people watch me. Yeah, you can open dashboard and then like you can just click. You can click on oof. You can play on stream, or at least I can. Yeah. Play. Oh, what's it been playing? You see, oh, it has like a. Let's play this one. Oh, what's up? How's life? Hello, musicians. Uh, wow, what a fucking coincidence. Okay, that's okay. Not gonna lie, I actually thought nobody was gonna fucking talk today. Just saying. Yeah, how's life? It's well, I guess. It's well. You know, my hair finally. I'm just kidding. It's just like nothing happened today, really. I mean, it was just like a normal day. Yesterday was like, eh, that's eh. But like, I don't want to talk about it because like, I don't know. I feel like it's sensitive in like the sense of like it's like you can talk to it to like your friends, right? Like that type of material, but you can't talk to it like or talk about it like on like live or something, right? Because like I don't know, it's like an ongoing thing. I feel that it's gonna be happening or something. And then I have another one, another story that is similar to that. Um, that I don't want to really get into the nitty gritty until like maybe like not even a year, maybe like 5 years down the road or something if I'm still like live streaming. But like, yeah, I mean, other than that, like, I ate a mango earlier, I guess. So I guess now I'll like rebound the question back to you. How's life? Just kidding. Oh no no. How's your day? There you go.
Didn't
Something
dream
more
at
normal,
all,
right?
and
But, like,
I
I'm just
instantly
gonna play the
woke up
thing.
feeling paranoid,
We're listening.
like someone or something was watching me. The
Like,
fifth time it
life's good, by the
happened,
way. Just
I
saying.
jumped to my feet. The room was dark now.
I didn't get that
I
across.
couldn't even see my hand in front of my face. After I was done dropping bricks, I thought I'd died and was now in some sort of hell.
Oh no.
But I walked around slowly and still found the walls of the room in about the places I expected.
Interesting. It's
It
like
clicked in my head.
it's more of a purgatory.
This place,
Fuck.
wherever.
See, this is what I mean by this creepypasta is like badly written. Like they should have said it's a purgatory rather than like a hell. Because the true hell has like a it's just tearing at you, right?
And whatever it was, kept track of the time outside.
Like demons
I
after
huddled myself
you.
in one of the corners
It's like
and waited for the
or,
light
I'm
to
just
return.
kidding.
That took a few
Oh,
hours, but
it's
with
just
nothing
like
to draw
things,
my
right?
attention and excite my senses, it felt like a small eternity.
Just remember like from like last time if like you're coming back or something or I don't know, just saying. This is how they say the rooms are, right? It's like it's more of a purgatory rather than a hell. Of course, you still in purgatory. I guess you would come across people. But like the thing that differs from, or that the difference between the back rooms and purgatory is that like in the back rooms you find creatures too, and it's level 0, and that you know clipped. Like yeah, whatever.
There was only me, the darkness, the sounds of my occasional breath, and the pulse of my heart pounding in my ears. I thought I'd go crazy.
Oh man, don't we have
That
a
I'd start to
heartbeat one?
hallucinate any moment now.
That would
But
actually
then
help.
I noticed a small inkling of light emanating from the ceiling. Dawn was coming.
Yeah, so there's that little
The light
square,
slowly
that
grew in
purple square,
intensity,
that looks like a
mirroring the
petrol.
face of a sunrise.
Yeah, just
But
saying you can
I
play
didn't
it.
wait any
On
longer.
phone at least. On
The
desktop,
moment
otherwise
I could
like
see even past the vaguest of shapes, I got up and on the move. Despite the poor quality of my sleep, I felt rested and refreshed. So I
Slept.
started exploring. Door after door, room after room, all I found was more of the same. The walls were different
Nice.
colours, and the shapes of the rooms varied to mirror their purpose. A small closet, a garage, a bathroom, a corridor once in a while. But other than that,
Nice.
they were all the same. For a split second, I felt like I was in a video game, and I'd entered an area that I wasn't supposed to. A building that
Telling you,
used to
this
be
is a
completely
video game
kept
influence.
because no one was meant to enter it.
No
Only
clipping. Like, what
this
the
was
fuck?
reality. At one point, I got an idea. I kept finding windows, which, although they didn't show anything on the other side and were flush with the walls, I thought maybe would lead somewhere. So I threw my water bottle against one of them, hoping to shatter it, but it bounced right off and rolled at my feet. The next few days were spent going from room to room, only stopping at night when I couldn't see a damn thing. But I made a
Yeah.
few interesting discoveries, if you want to call them that,
Okay.
about how this place and my body worked now. Closing a door randomized the room on the other side, so you could walk in a circle without going in the same room twice. As soon as the door left your direct line of sight, even
Okay,
if you
nice
left it
spin,
open,
but
it
like,
would close on its own.
I get it, get it, get it. It's
This
a
one I
roulette
figured
now.
out after I had the bright idea of
You
not
have
closing
now.
two
Now it incorporates luck. It's you can't speedrun anymore.
doors behind me, hoping I'd manage to figure out how big the place was.
I'm being so
I
annoying.
didn't need sleep, or at least I didn't need it as often as I normally would. Despite a few days having passed at that point, I didn't feel tired, and I only slept through the first night I spent there. Same went for food and water. I didn't feel hungry or thirsty, even though I still had both sandwiches and the water bottle was missing only the few sips I took on the first day. That was either a curse or a blessing, depending on how you chose to look at it. It would give me more time to find a way out, but it had the potential of prolonging my suffering immensely if I didn't. I decided to take it as
What?
a blessing for
Okay,
the
why
time.
bring that up? Like, what are you trying to say? Like, oh, I'm trying to take myself out. Like, what? Like,
Being
why so
and kept
early? Like,
going,
I guess it
room
depends from
after
person
room,
to person, but like,
day in and day out.
there's no
There
build
would
up
be
to
more
that. You know
doors
what I
all the
mean?
time.
Like, like if you're gonna bring something up like that, like you have to bring up like, some sort of past. Otherwise, you just bring that up. Like, yeah, that happens. Yeah. Like, okay. It's like
Than I would have in my entire life otherwise.
it's like weird to bring that up.
But
You know?
after roughly a week, I finally found something that wasn't just another bland wall.
It's like if I just like randomly just told a stranger, like right now, I'm gonna do that right now. I had an ice cream, but it's a blessing and a curse. Like, what does that mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, like what? Like, I'm gonna go to the restroom. Like, what's gonna happen? Like what? Like,
Though,
like it's a blessing because I liked it. It's a curse because like it only prolonged my suffering. Like what? Like okay, kind of weird.
I wished I hadn't. The first thing that hit me as I entered another room was the gut-wrenching smell. It was stagnant and putrid, to the point that it made me retch and made my eyes water. I slowly looked up and found red trails adorning the floor.
The trails. Oh
They
no.
had a radial pattern that led back
The
to a tiny
hyper
source
realistic blood
and looked
started coming
as if
out of
they followed
Sonic's
one thing to
eyes.
another.
Oh god, I remember. You know what I used to watch? Actually, okay, okay. I hate how I keep on doing this. It's just I'm remembering so much bullshit I used to like hear. I used to watch bullshit creepypastas by what you call it, Yuri of Wind or something like that. I think that's his name, right? Right? Hold up, let me see if he's still around. I'm pretty sure he is, and I'm not sure if that's how you fucking say his name, or if I'm like messing it up. Yuri of Wind. Yeah, Yuri of Wind creepypasta. Does he still do him? And Slate? No, portrait. But about BS creepypasta storytime, the negative zone. I don't remember that one at all. I remember clicking on it a long time ago, or like 7 months ago, whenever it came out, because like I don't know, I was subscribed to him, or I was just like being nostalgic and being like, oh, what happened to this guy? And I clicked on it. You know which one was like the last one I actually kind of remember? I don't have it on screen, right? But like, I'm just gonna say it. It's Which one is it? I think it was Possessed Pokemon Blue. If not, it might have been Sonic.exe too. And even then, I don't remember anything. Those seem familiar. BS creepypasta story time. Like, come on. This is why, okay, thinking about it now, maybe that's what inspired me to fucking start doing creepy shit or like watching creepy shit and reacting to it. Cause like, I don't know, it's just some sort of energy just resting in with me and just being like, oh, no, fucking fuck this up. Because if I remember how he used to do it, right, is that, he would just explain like the bullshit elements of it, right? And like one of them, and that I always constantly remember. If not, it was some ordinary gamers or somebody that did that. They would always be like hyper realistic blood, and like that was like the main one. It was like every fucking creepypasta almost had that. Hyper realistic. Like what the fuck does that mean? Is blood not real enough for you? Like what the fuck?
Followed them, slow and uncertain. My gaze came upon something in the corner. It was a dry husk, with its back against the wall and its hands beside its body.
The Huchiman husk.
Wrist, and I could see bone beneath the mummified skin. Words were strewn on the wall behind it, in the same red colour as the trails on the floor. I backed up slowly as the realization hit me like a truck. This person, whoever he or she might have been, was like me at some point. Someone stuck in here that couldn't take it anymore and decided to end it all. That was their only way out.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, wait. So you go from like, well, it makes this people react differently. I'm gonna take it that way, right? Like, gosh, he needs to work on his tone. Just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke.
I feared more and
this
more
is I'm like jumping the gun.
It would eventually be my only option as well.
Like,
for hours, I fought back the urge to leave the room and shut the door behind me. The reality of what I was facing sunk deeper and deeper into my soul, bringing with it despair and a feeling of complete helplessness.
Every time I think of despair, I think of Danganronpa.
I managed to snap myself out of it and approached the corpse to inspect it. I thought that maybe they'd have something useful on them, though what exactly that would have been, I had no idea. Certainly no food or water, else they might not have taken their own life, and certainly not a map that led outside, or else I'd not have found them here like this. I fashioned a mask to cover my mouth and nose out of my t-shirt and walked over to it slowly. The words behind it came into view as I got closer, and I could read them when I was a few steps away. Beware the dark. Don't follow the footsteps. The eyes. Oh God, the eyes. Make it stop. I'm paraphrasing a bit, but that was the gist of it. Short sentences with an ominous feeling to them. They said,
that better be tied up, like, why he's paraphrasing. So if I was in that situation, I feel like either A, I wouldn't be able to talk, or B, I'd know every single detail that went on. Like, I'd recollect it and everybody would call me, like, crazy.
Certainly did a good job of making me feel.
But then again, I feel like that's some sort of bias on me. Like, don't take that as literal.
I tried to puzzle them together and
draw. Like, hopefully one day I start realizing what biases I use and I start like circulating them out of my sort of like rhetoric that I'm using, right? That's what I'm saying. Just saying.
Some on them.
So I'm pretty sure I am making some biases.
What eyes?
Maybe like a straw man somewhere along, right?
I'd been here for more than a week now.
Or like I just made.
Besides the sounds I made myself, I didn't hear.
What is it called? Did it call something?
I was still terrified reading it though. I kneeled down next to the corpse and started pulling on its clothes in search of pockets. It was dressed pretty blandly, jeans and a t-shirt, so I'd not found much.
It was dressed pretty blandly. Okay, let's see what that means actually. There's a reason why they said that. So, it finds a corpse, right? What does that symbolically mean? The everyman. It was just like he's a character, right? But finding like a bland corpse, like just a normal, not normal, but like just like a bland corpse, like like a background character or something like that. Like those freaking characters in like a New Donk City, for example. Like those NPCs basically that are just dressed all blandly, right? I feel like that's brought up for a reason, and I can't. I feel like I'm getting there, but I can't just quite reach there. And it's just like me. It's not the story. Um, so I have a feeling it's gonna be tied up with how like this creature not to, or whatever that he ends up talking about does not discriminate or what you call it, or just ends up going after humans that are just stuck underneath. I don't know, something like that.
One of the front pockets of the jeans revealed a phone with no battery, and the back pocket revealed a wallet. There was a bit of cash in it, a few bills and coins, but I decided not to even count it, let alone take it. But I found an ID and a driver's license and took those. I figured that if I ever get out, the least I could do was turn these in and let their relatives know of their fate. His name was Brandon, an average-looking 25-year-old guy with dirty blonde.
Listen, this is when this guy came back there and rewrote that without reading the whatever he was writing beforehand. Because like, if I was him or whatever character was there, right? um, I'd get the whole wallet and just bring it with me, not because I want the money, but because I'm turning in the money, and at least the relatives will get some sort of fucking price. You know what I mean? At least we're getting the money back. If like, say, I don't know, Jim the Outlaw fucking stole $500 of cash from the relatives or something. I don't know. Like, it's always good to bring the whole fucking wallet. Like, otherwise, what are they gonna think? Oh yeah, you fucking murdered. They're gonna think you're the like. Think about it. Oh my gosh, just think about it. The more I think about it, the more like I'm like, this doesn't make sense because like if you bring an ID and all that, and you're just like, oh yeah, they're gone. Who the fuck's gonna believe you? You're gonna be like suspect number one, like for reals. If you bring the wallet, it's only gonna help you out because at least there's gonna be like what more traces of whatever fucking happened. You know what I mean? Like blood from like whoever it was. You're gonna be somewhat able to link it back to you, I guess. But like not like in the sense of like oh it's definitely him. Like you know what I mean? And maybe they could find the fucking creature's DNA or something or some weird shit like that, and maybe he can get out of it. I'm like digging myself,
Blonde hair,
not digging myself in a hole, but like it's like not the right way of going of things. That's what I would say.
blue
It's just
eyes.
interesting when you like think
He
about it
didn't
like even
deserve his
further.
fate, and I didn't either. I found nothing else on him, so I decided to move on. Staying put wouldn't do me any good, and after finding Brandon's corpse, I felt a renewed sense of urgency. The next few days followed the same pattern as before, stopping only at nightfall. Before, I moved as long as I could see, but with Brandon's warning to beware the dark, I began stopping the moment the light started to fade. I was itching to move, to keep my mind occupied so it wouldn't collapse in on me, but I was afraid. I didn't need to see any monsters on top of all I'd been through. As the second week came and passed, I was certain I'd traveled for dozens of miles now,
Either
and
that's
more or
like
less
nice
in a straight line
foreshadowing or
too.
like just little
I'd grown properly hungry in the meantime, so I ate one of the sandwiches and held on to the other one until I'd literally be starving.
oh
I
my
was also
gosh,
down to half a bottle of water.
he's gonna eat and drink all his water by the time he goes to the second or finishes going through the second level. Or it's, yeah,
But if my
first level,
body
whatever
kept
it's
it
called.
up at the same rate, these meager supplies would have lasted me a month or two. That was unless I'd have found her. As I entered another room, I saw someone huddled in a corner. Thinking it was a corpse, I approached it slowly, my nerves on their ends.
Okay.
It looked shriveled and malnourished, but I couldn't tell if it had been dead for long now. Decomposition was probably affected the same way as my hunger and my thirst, which was why my sandwich went stale, but was still edible. But then, she opened her eyes, looked at me with horror, and started to scream. I covered my ears to shield them from the loud screech, and it took everything I had in me not to bolt out for the door. She screamed for a solid 30 seconds
Yikes.
before she stopped to gasp for air, but I could see she was ready to do it again. "Stop that," I yelled. "I won't hurt you." She opened her eyes, and they were wide with surprise. A look of disbelief, and then of relief washed over her features, and she huddled down tighter. "Help me, please. Oh God, if you're a real human, help me." I rushed over to her and kneeled down. She looked bad, but knowing she was still alive in her condition made it so much worse. Her face was scrawny, the skin pulled taut over her bones. Her clothes looked a few sizes too big, hanging loosely on a frame.
Yikes.
Her hair was disheveled, dirty, and bunches of it had fallen off to reveal her bare scalp. "What happened to you?" I asked, although I probably knew the answer. "Do you have anything to eat, or some water?" she asked. I considered for a moment to lie and tell her no, but I couldn't have lived with myself if I did that. However
Yikes.
long I still had to live anyway. I opened my backpack and offered her the sandwich. She wolfed it down in a few seconds and then licked the plastic wrap clean. "Thank you so much," she said after she was done. "I haven't eaten in months." I gave her the water bottle too and told her to drink it slowly. I was no expert in malnutrition and starvation, but I knew that if the stomach is empty for a long time, it's not a good idea to stuff it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
She, of course, didn't listen to me and drank the water in a few gulps. I couldn't really blame her though. I can't even imagine what it feels like to not eat or drink for months. We stood in silence for a while, as I allowed her to regain some composure. She eventually opened her mouth and started to talk, and to this day, I still regret hearing her words. "Have you seen it yet?" she asked. "See what?" I asked back. "So you didn't travel through the dark then?" she continued. "No, I haven't," I answered. "I
Well,
can't see anything, so when night comes, I stay put." "Good," she said. "You didn't answer me though." "See what?" I asked again. I tried to get more out of her, but my attempts were met with failure. She didn't evade my questions. She outright shut them down and told me it was for my own good. Seeing that I didn't relent, however, she eventually told me something.
mm.
"Listen, you really are better off not knowing. Believe me, just don't travel through the dark, and you will be safe." "Fine," I said, accepting defeat. The terror in her voice was not hidden at all. It was laid thick on every word she spoke, so I didn't
I
pester
don't know.
her
I feel
further.
like I
Still,
understand why
her
she did that.
questions and cryptic
Mm.
words felt eerily familiar.
Like it makes sense.
Brandon's words.
Like I feel like if she would have revealed like, oh yeah, there's a creature or something, right? That guy would have been like, oh, well, it's up to this or something. It's like he mentioned that earlier. I don't know.
Written in blood came to mind. Beware the dark. I stayed by his side as the day
And yeah,
passed
and
and
now
night
you see there's a
settled,
there's a
even
good
though I
thing
was itching
happening.
to get on the move again. I'd not seen another human or spoke to anyone in over 2 weeks, and although I thought I'd never
Like
miss it,
hanging out with
not
this
changed.
creepypasta could just go bad.
I was starved for conversation, for interaction, and
Yeah, so
most
this is one of
importantly,
those
for
that gets
information.
better as it goes. Good.
Her name was Vanessa. She was 25 years old and had been living a few towns over from me. One day, 3 months before I found her, she went to the bathroom in her own apartment. Preoccupied with her phone, she didn't check on the room she entered. Only when the door was shut behind her and she was cut off from the world outside did she notice something was up. By then, it was too late, and she'd been trapped in here ever since. Her story sent chills down my spine, as it was very similar to mine. In a moment of distraction, she walked through a door she'd opened countless times before, only for it to lead her here. The gears in my head started spinning as I began to theorize the how and why. I knew these rooms are copies of real ones. That much was evident from day one, seeing as I'd entered my own house and thought someone had stolen all of my furniture, and I knew they were randomized upon closing the doors. But where was this place? outside of our reality? Did we enter it because we weren't paying attention?
Whoa.
Or was it something like quantum
Should have
mechanics?
paid attention
where
to the
contents of the room
teacher.
weren't decided until they were
The
observed?
physics teacher, dude. I
No,
passed that class
she
with
didn't
a
know.
C.
It
Wait,
couldn't be
C.
a combination of them, or something
And I
else
got it a
entirely.
B for like those labs
Anyway,
class.
after me and Vanessa talked some more,
I swear.
she
I'm like, it's okay. This is just like off topic. I'm good at the labs classes, but I'm so bad at the fucking actual classes. I don't know how. I'm like good at writing out the lab reports, reporting everything, calculating that one calculation, maybe like 20 other calculations, right? I just can't do fucking regular like multiple calculations and stuff. I don't know.
fell asleep.
It's weird.
She was obviously weak, so I didn't wake her. I stood by her side as the light slowly dimmed, hoping she'd get enough strength back the next day to walk. I myself couldn't sleep. In fact, ever since I'd gotten here, I only slept that one time through the first night. The rest of them I spent awake, pondering
Probably
my
better to get
predicament
sleep, not
and
gonna
my life
lie.
thus far.
You go crazy
Tonight,
if you don't.
I was glad to have someone next to me, even though all I could hear was her steady breathing. I wasn't alone anymore. About halfway through the night, I got up and paced around through the room for a bit to stretch my legs. I do this every night to stop my muscles from going stiff, but I never left the rooms I was in. At one point I stopped, after maybe 10 minutes of walking in circles. I listened for Vanessa so I could return next to her, and it didn't take me long to pick up on her breathing. But before I could take a single step towards her, I heard footsteps. I stood as still as I could, listening, hoping my mind was only playing tricks on me. But it wasn't. Although they were faint and sounded like they came from far away, I could clearly make out every single step. They were slow, with a few seconds between them, but they followed a steady rhythm. I turned to face the direction they seemed to come from and took a few steps of my own, slow and careful not to make a sound. I inched forward until my outstretched hand met the wood of the door.
I'm gonna be quiet
I
now.
leaned
Just like
against it,
listening to the story.
pressing
Just
my
like
ear in the wood, and heard the footsteps clearer. I hoped it would be another person. I hoped Vanessa and I would get another companion to help us out. But the more I listened, the more that hope was eroded away, until it was shattered
there's a rotate
entirely.
feature.
The steps were too heavy for a
I
normal
never knew
human,
that.
too drawn out. And besides that, the room they seemed to come from wasn't decided yet. For all intents and purposes, I shouldn't have been able to hear them. The moment that realization hit me, Brandon's warnings and Vanessa's questions suddenly made sense. A deep sense of dread and fear took over me, and I made my way next
Oh,
to
wait,
Vanessa.
wait. Was he saying Brandon? Oh, this whole time I thought it said random. Like, actually, because like usually that's how they do it in creepypastas when they don't want to reveal a name or like name redacted or random or something like that. I swear, I'm like used to that. I didn't make that
Without
like
even
connection.
taking a single breath. The night passed one heartbeat at a time, one footstep at a time, because they never went away. Not until light returned in full. At that point, I woke Vanessa up. She came to her senses slowly and noticed the change in my demeanor. "Did you see it?" was the first thing she asked me.
Wow.
"No," I answered. "Did you hear the footsteps then?" she continued with the questioning. "Yes," I admitted, "but I didn't follow them." "We should be safe then," she said after a long pause. Vanessa tried to get up on her own, but she couldn't. She was still too weak, and we both doubted a sandwich and a bit of water would change that. I helped her to her feet and threw one of her arms around my shoulders, basically
Wow.
dragging her along. "You don't have..."
Listen, I can already feel it. Narrator is gonna sacrifice Vanessa some way, and Vanessa's gonna be like, "Please, just leave me here and run," or something like that.
"Too," she said as we walked towards the door opposite of the footsteps I heard during the night. "I'm not going by myself," I cut her short. "If I spend another night awake by myself, I'll lose it."
Oh my,
She didn't say anything else.
just like,
Having been alone for the past months, she probably understood me. We spent the next day in a straight line, door after door, hoping one of them would lead us outside. It
turn on.
hadn't, of course, and by nightfall, we stopped once
Oh my
again.
gosh, I turned off the TV on
I
us.
sat Vanessa down in a corner and lay next to her.
Just like,
She lifted a right
oh.
pant leg to reveal a shin, and I saw it was full of straight cuts in various
Yeah,
angles of
it's
healing.
fucking dumb. I just
I
don't know
didn't
what to say. I
what to
mean,
make of them, but they looked suspicious.
now it's like narrative,
clay
like,
marks. With the nail of her thumb, she cut another line into her skin. She winced a bit, but didn't let out a sound. Seeing my confusion, she started explaining. I'm counting the days I've been here, she said. On your skin? I asked, unnerved by it. I've got nothing else, she said. We talked a bit more, mostly about our lives. She'd finished high school, but didn't pursue higher education.
okay, wait, hold up. Just explain some symbols and stuff. So the footsteps, right? They represent some sort of like shady character or something like that. That's just like in the background, right? And they're coming, and I assume they're coming towards it or near him, right? So the fact that they're like, or so far that we're made to like, basically the narrative is building it up to like we fear it as well. Just as like the narrator is explaining it to us, right? Or I don't know. I feel like I'm like botching that explanation, but basically it's supposed to put some sort of like fear, like, oh, are they gonna like meet up with them, or like what's going on, or like at least make us like think a little bit, like, oh yeah, I hear the footsteps and stuff, right? Uh, did I just hear Vanessa ate her skin? Because if that's the case, then it shows like this sort of like extremes you have to go. Yeah, just to get day by just to get through a day, right? Just day by day. Like, gosh, that's nasty. Like, I mean, so she's doing that, and I guess that's it. I mean, symbol wise, to each your own self. And like I mean that as like a thing. I don't remember. I remember coming across it maybe like in high school. I've yet to come across it in college because I haven't taken an English class there yet. Um, was symbol to I put ought to self cannibalism. Self cannibalism is the process. Yeah. Self cannibalism. Let's go off that. Well, it's a serpent biting its own tail. I can't find like the actual thing. Unless I heard wrong. I'm like, because like here's a quote: it is better to lose a limb than to lose your life." Oof, gosh, not the best thing you can hear. It's from like, I guess. It's from, I'll tell you where this comes from. I searched auto cannibalism or why is the BBC not secure? What the fuck? Okay, it's auto cannibalism is when you eat bits of yourself or no, yeah, of your own body. Yeah, that's the article that I just saw. Fuck, is there no symbol? Here, I guess it's to like preserve oneself, right? That's what it means. But at the cost of it has to preserve oneself at the cost of uh yeah, at the cost of some other I don't know. let's just say like skill or feature, right? Um and I feel like that's important because I don't know, it's just like a way that this person's getting across. Although everybody has a different way, just like the narrator, he had a sandwich in waters, he was getting by well. Um and yeah, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's like a sort of maybe I'm like was reading too much into it as to like, oh, it's a symbol or something. Maybe it's just supposed to contrast the
After
narrator,
working at a
right?
restaurant,
Where the narrator uses, well, just other materials that he brought with himself to eat. Her name's Vanessa, right? Vanessa uses herself, right? I guess to get by, because she really has nothing else. She lost everything pretty much. Meanwhile, the narrator kind of is like the fresh guy. You know what I mean? Like he has stuff,
as a waitress to
and
make
which is why Vanessa gulps down the water earlier too. She's like, "Oh my
a
gosh."
living.
Yeah.
There, she met a man
She's
that would
desperate.
soon become a
She's
boyfriend
desperate to
and then a
preserve herself.
fiance. He was the son
This
of the
isn't nothing
owner,
new. It's like
but
it's
from what
obvious.
Vanessa told me,
I
he
think.
worked with him whenever he was needed. He sounded like a swell guy, to be honest. Anyway, the two of them moved into an apartment by themselves a year prior,
Mm,
and they'd been happy together.
nice.
Vanessa said she could already see the rest of her life with him. Until, well, this happened to her. I told her I was in a similar position to hers, working a
Hmm.
dead end job in order to scrape by. Only I'd wasted years of my life going to college, getting a degree that never led me anywhere. I still lived with my parents in our small suburban home, hoping to find someone to share my days with and maybe start a family. You can guess how well that went, I said, trying to pass it off as a joke. Vanessa managed to giggle, but could tell she didn't really taste my joke. I don't
Hmm.
blame her, but I always found humour alleviates bad situations for me. We kept talking until the lights vanished almost completely, and we'd have done it even after that, probably all through the night. But something we heard stopped us. The footsteps. The goddamn footsteps.
It's about to
They
turn into a
returned as the
tragedy.
last rays were gone, seemingly
From
closer
comedy to
than last
tragedy.
night.
I'm just kidding. Isn't it
Listening
usually
in
the opposite,
anticipation
tragedy to
for what
comedy?
must have been
Yeah, right?
hours. We huddled closer together, bunching into one another for a fleeting sense
So
of
like a
safety.
comedian, just like
The night
it's just into
quickly
a comedy
passed,
show. Welcome to the backroom show.
and we were
It's just like
both still alive by the end of it. Scared out of our minds, but alive. We spent about 2 more months travelling together, passing the days with small talk, and the
wow.
nights fearing for our lives. The footsteps got closer some nights, but if we kept quiet, they wouldn't approach us. We both got weaker by the day, withering away to hunger and thirst, but Vanessa was much worse off than me. I didn't think someone could be that thin and still alive, and I think only a will to survive and see through this kept her alive at that point. We'd made very little progress for a few days, and I guess we both knew that she didn't have long left, but I refused to acknowledge it.
Hmm.
One evening, as we stopped for the day, she was too weak to even talk with me. She went straight to sleep, which worried me, since I didn't need sleep once since I'd met her. When morning finally came and she woke up, she kept uncharacteristically silent. I waited half an hour for her to wake up fully before I suggested we get on the move again, but she stopped me. Just leave me, she said in a weak, sad voice.
Oh.
You both know I don't have much left, and I'm only slowing you down. No, I protested. This is not some movie. You're not doing some heroic sacrifice for me. She didn't even fight me about it. Maybe she was too weak to, or maybe she simply didn't care anymore, knowing we both meet our ends in here regardless.
Why
Fine,
not both?
she accepted my decision after a while.
Like, you know what I mean?
At
So many
least
people
let
do
me
that.
tell you
So
the
an
truth.
ultimatum.
God knows how much time I have left, and this might be my last chance to. I wanted to stop her, to contradict her, and reassure her we'd make it eventually. But I listened. I was curious, but I didn't want to risk braving this place alone without knowing exactly what I'm in for. There's something in here with us, she said after a long pause. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's hunting us down. If you move during the night, it picks up on you, I think. Then it will start circling the rooms in search of you, making those footsteps we've been hearing. If you make noise, or if you follow the footsteps, it can
Mm.
find you. Did you see it? I did, she admitted with a surprising calmness. When I first got here, actually, I ran around for a few days, even through the dark. One night I bumped into it, but I didn't get a good look at it. I ran away like hell, and I guess I lost it.
Mm.
How did it look? I asked, even though I was sure I'd regret finding out. Tall, gaunt, spindly limbs, Vanessa said, and paused for a moment. Her sight got lost in empty space, and for a few heartbeats, I was sure she wasn't there with me anymore on a mental level. And those eyes,
Yikes.
she eventually added, red and shining and... Tears formed around her eyes and flowed down her cheeks, but her expression didn't change to reflect that. Haunting? I asked. She nodded her head. Okay, I said. That's enough. I'm not
Well,
sure I want to hear more.
this figure. I don't remember. Well, spindly red eye. Chases haunts. There's a reason why that figure looks like that, and I just don't want to figure it out. Um, I'm trying to think. It reminds me of Slenderman, but like, nah. Well, really, it's just supposed to be demonic. Yeah, well, not demonic per se, but like, it's supposed to have like the negative characteristics of a evil character, right? As in like red eyes, like evil. That screams evil. Spindly fingers or whatever features. It's like, it's like witch, not witch like, but like, like ghoul like or something.
I'm pretty sure it's not doing
And
you any good to try and remember
etc.
more.
etc.
She sheepishly nodded her head again, so we closed the subject. We got
Like,
a
if we
room.
were analyzing this on a deeper level, like, what does the creature represent? Maybe it just represents like the fear of getting lost, or the fear of not preserving oneself, and maybe like fucking losing your life to something you don't understand quite yet. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what it means. Like, in this sort of maze, like, you're stuck in there, not because you just fucking were stuck in there randomly, but you're stuck in there because perhaps um you just feared, not feared, but like you just didn't know or understand uh whatever this creature is, right? For example, what did I say the creature represents again? It slips my mind. It slips my mind. I swear. Uh,
Move at a
yeah.
glacial pace,
Whatever I
with
said,
breaks
it's
every
in
other
there.
hour or so for her to catch a breath. We mostly kept silent, with barely a few words exchanged between us, but I still appreciated her presence. I think another week or so passed, and Vanessa withered away visibly by the day. It wasn't long before she couldn't walk anymore, and she kept insisting that I either leave her or end her. But I didn't do either. Couldn't do either. At least, not in the meantime. For as long as I was able, I'd carry her around on my back, which is exactly what I did. And even though she was more bone than flesh at that point, she still felt very heavy, a clear sign of my own degradation. We travelled less and less, starting up later and stopping sooner every day. Vanessa kept tallying the days on her skin until she ran out of room on her legs and had
Oh,
to
she
move into her
tallies. Okay,
forearms.
I thought she ate herself. I don't
Or
know.
one evening,
I guess. Okay, okay. See, I knew something was up. See, okay. So I guess it. Whereas the main character doesn't, take track of like what day it is, right, or what's happening and whatnot. Vanessa kind of contrasts that, where she's like, "Oh, I'm stuck in here," telling you herself, right? kind of like a way of making her experience permanent, whereas the narrator kind of just wants to move away from this experience. Get it? Because like he's moving, ha 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 ha. He has a will, ha. You know what I mean? Like the way that like some people can just move on from an event and other people just can't. They just put it bluntly, you know, stuck reliving that event or just living in that event. You know? Yeah.
We counted the marks, and we found out that she'd been in here for a little over 6 months. At the rate I'm going, she said after a while, I have maybe another month left. She didn't bring it up again, but I knew from the look in her eyes that she was afraid. Despite her inhuman amount of resolve, she feared what another month in her condition would mean. So much pain, so much suffering, and although she never said it, I knew she was angry with me for refusing to end it for her. That night was the first time I slept as well, and I can't describe how good it felt. Escaping the hell I was in for even a few hours was a blessing, but unfortunately, I didn't get to relish in it for too long. All of the stress, all of the anxiety, and all of the worries had built up in me. They turned into nightmares and ruined my rest. I dreamt of Vanessa dying, of me crying over a lifeless body. My resolve continued to shatter. But then she opened her eyes and reached a skeletal arm out towards me. I tried to scream and back away from her, but you know how well that goes in dreams. I was paralyzed, the yells frozen in my throat, and she threw me to the ground effortlessly. Why didn't you kill me? She asked, climbing over me and wrapping her fingers around my throat.
Watch this not be a
I
dream or
couldn't
a
answer,
nightmare.
and I could in fact barely fight her. I thrashed around beneath her and tried to scream again and again, but I was only met with failure. The struggle didn't last for long. Fortunately, the real Vanessa woke me up, but I let out a single, loud screech as I came to and regained control of my body. It's all right. It's okay. You're okay, she
Whoa.
whispered and covered my mouth. The silence that engulfed us was all too consuming that I heard the beating of my own heart in my ears. I kept quiet as the shock of the nightmare faded away, and Vanessa did the same, not making a single sound. I could barely hear her breathing. All my senses adjusted. I heard something faint and distant.
Whoa, it's the
Footsteps
footsteps.
somewhere far away, and doors squeaking as they opened and closed. They got closer and closer, and I knew that the
This is
creature heard my
graphic, I
screams.
swear.
It was only a matter of time until he would reach us.
Wow.
We have to move, I whispered to Vanessa. We'll be found. We can't outrun it, Vanessa said, and it'll hear us. It'll hear the doors. The footsteps got even closer, to the point I could tell them apart. The creature was only a few rooms away at best.
Oof.
We don't have a choice, I said as I got to my feet. Let's go. We'll figure something out. I didn't wait for Vanessa to answer. The footsteps were maybe 2 rooms away. We didn't have time to argue any longer. I took her hands and pulled her to her feet, getting her on my back and taking off. I tried my best to move as quietly as possible, but as soon as I opened the first door, the footsteps quickened behind us. The door to our room opened just as we left it, and I heard a guttural scream from behind. That was all I needed to convince me to throw all caution aside. I sped up, not quite running, but hurrying to the best of my abilities. I went at random, opening and closing all the doors in my wake, but the
Yikes.
creature was onto us. I didn't have the strength to go any faster and lose it. It soon caught up to us, and I turned my head around in time to get a glimpse of it. Dread invaded me
Yikes.
at the sight of its glowing eyes filled with malice, and I almost tripped
Oh my
right
gosh,
on the
it's
deck.
Ganon. I'm just
I kept
kidding.
going.
That's how I
I seen
imagined
her
it,
again
honestly. It
and
does
stayed ahead
weird
of
though.
it for a little while longer.
Just bimbly and all.
Leave me, Vanessa urged. I'm a goner anyway. I'll buy you some time to get away. No way in hell, I yelled back at her. Not an option. The next room was a flight of stairs, with no other route in sight. I could barely make out a door all the way up, and with the way I came from blocked by the creature, I started ascending. I don't think I made it 5 steps before I tripped and was forced to continue on all fours. Vanessa was barely hanging on to me, and I felt a grip around my throat loosen. Whether or not she was letting go intentionally, I'll never know. Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, she sacrificed
At
herself.
any rate, she didn't get to fall off my back.
No, that's my
The
conclusion.
creature caught up to us, bounding up the stairs like a crazed animal, and it got its calloused hands around my ankle. I tried to kick it away, to keep going, but in a single motion it hurled me through the air and back down the stairs. I landed hard on my back, getting the air knocked out of me. I heard Vanessa crashing to the floor somewhere to my right. Through the stars in my vision, I could vaguely make out a form in the murky darkness, and she was completely still. "Vanessa," I yelled, crawling towards her. "Just go," she yelled back. "Get." Her words were cut short by the creature as it ploughed into her. It picked her up off the ground so fast that its spindly body was just a blur of shadows and movement. I heard a loud thud as it pinned Vanessa against the wall.
But I said the fear
and
of...
I heard a gargle as she tried to scream. Her eyes locked for a final time, and behind her gaze, I saw a terrifying calm, an acceptance of her fate that I didn't think possible. She mouthed, "Go."
I guess the
one
fear of
final
not wanting
time,
to move forward, right? That's what they said? Something like that.
and
Yeah.
her eyes left mine.
Well, it's shadowy
moving
too.
to
It's
echo
just
of
like,
the
because you don't
creature.
know what you're moving towards or something.
I didn't want to.
I'm just trying to make like a
Her eyes
conclusion now.
screamed at me to stay, to help, to fight. But my tired, malnourished body fought me back, and I found myself turning around,
Usually
limping
it's
away
the
on
other
all
way
fours.
around. It's the brain.
As I reached the door
Like,
and
get
left the
out.
room, I heard a sickening sound of flesh and bone being torn apart as the creature let out squeals of satisfaction. It won. It got its prey. I went as fast as I could.
What a sick game
closing
of
all the
tag.
doors
I'm just
behind
kidding.
me,
No. Oh my
hoping
gosh,
that
I should
rooms
not have
would
made that joke.
reshuffled and I'd be safe. More than once, I was tempted to either stop or outright turn around, because what was the point? But I kept going until my lungs burned and my soul felt raw. The human survival spirit is a hell of a thing. After Vanessa's death, I have no idea how much time passed.
What a cliche line. Like,
Days, weeks, a month. Even slowed down as it was, hunger and dehydration were finally catching up to me, and I soon started resembling the state that Vanessa had been in during her final days. With my conscience lapsing in and out, spending more and more time sleeping each day, I picked a room and decided to just give up, to let myself die and end the nightmare.
yikes.
But that didn't get to happen, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
This is
Cliche,
cliche. That's so cliche. I hate that. Oh gosh. For that, this story, I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna get.
One of the doors opened. 2 figures walked inside, shining flashlights in my face. I opened my crusted eyes slowly and tried to speak.
Okay.
But all that escaped my mouth was a throaty rasp. "Bloody hell, mate," one of the figures said in a thick British accent. "He's still alive. Get him out." More people appeared behind the 2, brandishing shotguns and fireman axes. 2 of them grabbed me by the feet and arms, hauling me up and carrying me along. I passed out on the way, but I was conscious for long enough to notice that they left every door open behind them. They also spread a thick steel rope as they went, which kept the doors from closing and shuffling. I made it out of the back rooms 4 months after I entered, and I woke up in a small town in
What?
northern
This is 6
Alaska.
months. What?
Seeing
Whatever.
as I am from West Virginia, I was quite a ways
Clearly,
away
as
from
you
home.
see, I pay attention.
The local doctor defied odds in treating me, and his idea of keeping me in the back rooms for another day while he gave me liquids and glucose was quite smart. He feared that bringing me back outside to the real world would have caused my body to instantly collapse and die. I didn't get to meet my saviors. By the time I woke up, after a few days of non-stop sleeping, they were already gone. A pair of monster hunters named Damien, the British guy, and his apprentice named Miles. That's all I managed to get out of the locals. Men in Black arrived before long, and they made up a story about me being kidnapped by human traffickers for unknown reasons.
What?
When we were all on the same...
What? Jesus Christ. Oh no, this story. Oh, the Men in Black. Oh no. This isn't a Italian creepypasta. Oh god. Yikes. Okay.
Same page. They contacted my family to let them know that
Last
I survived.
minute inclusion, Men in Black.
Transport was arranged for me to return back home, and
You should
I
have
made it
added
without
more.
incident. But my life hasn't been the same since.
And
For
now I'm
starters,
writing
I
this
removed
because
all
I'm
of the unnecessary
traumatized.
doors in my home, and I replaced the rest with glass ones, so that I could always see what laid on the other side. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to share Brandon's and Vanessa's fates with their families, and not from lack of trying. Believe me, I did try. But from the day I got home, the Men in Black have been keeping me under surveillance. For how long they'll keep it up, I don't know. I'm not even sure who they work for, beyond the nebulous concept that they're part of some branch of the government. Anyway, that's all I got. I wish I had a better resolution, a happy ending, but I don't.
No, it's
I'm
just a neutral
scarred
ending,
with a
really.
traumatized shell of the person I used to be, and no amount of therapy and meds can fix me. And I'll forever be paranoid when opening doors. I will never again in my life enter a room.
Wait, what's the phobia of open? There's a phobia. There's a phobia for everything. Like, it's not redundant. There's like an actual reason why. Phobias are actually like things that people have developed, and they're not like random like irrational fears, right? Phobias are like full on fears that people have actually developed. So like, say like, you have thalassophobia. You guess like fear of the either fish or the sea or something. It's one of those two. Like, there's people that straight up are like afraid of fish or like the sea or something, right? Whereas, say like you have a minor fear of the sea or fish, like, or like you're nervous to be around them. You don't have a phobia, right? Like, I'm just gonna search this up just because like this is interesting. It's like I feel like he's developing some sort of like not would agoraphobia be the right word? No, right? Agor. That's not the right word. That's like fear of going outside or something. Fear of places or situations that might cause panic. Actually, no, yeah, he's developing some sort of agoraphobia. You can tell, or not tell, but like it's, according to like what he's saying, right? But fear opening. The word entamophobia is derived from the combination of the Greek word episodes and portos for entrance and entryway of phobos, which is the Greek god of fear in a way. Entamophobia is a very similar to agoraphobia or the fear of opening doors. Oh, fear of doors. No, no, fear of opening doors. Yeah, that's what I searched up. What? That's not entamophobia, right? Okay, okay, there isn't a used term. Good. I guess the closest thing would be entamophobia. Or not super similar, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's on the noun or subject, right?
Without
Doors.
checking what's on the other side first.
So be careful, kids. If you check on the other side. Okay, okay, let's actually see. What's the moral of the story? The moral of the story. I feel like the moral of the story is like, you know, try to maybe move on. Like, grow out of a bad experience. But like, obviously, at the heat of the moment, just try to do your best to like, um, get by, and not to like, you know, ask for more. Like, no, maybe not that latter part. Like, ask for more because obviously you can't ask for more, according to this. I guess that's it. Like, there's nothing much. So yeah. Uh, no. Thank you so much. I guess that's it for today. This is like one thing I just wanted to hear. It was cool. It was cool. It was cool. Uh, because of the Men in Black. Um, some other cliches that I can't remember. Dude, I'm bad with this, I swear. The Men in Black thing just ticked me off. The writing in the beginning, I guess. Yeah, that's what I said. And um, some other thing. Uh, I guess the delivery of this story. If this is just like a flat out story in Reddit, right? And I read it, it would have between a 6 and 7. Um, right? Well, but like I feel like that's unfair to the guy that's reading it. Like seriously, he did his best. I can tell. Okay, so this one I'm gonna give like a story, like a story rating, and then like the narrator who's narrating this, right? So I feel like the narrator has like a 7 to 8 out of 10 points or something like that. Just because like his voice is deadpan, but he does read the whole thing, and I mean, when it comes to these sort of creepypastas, I guess the tone you're looking for is just like scary and deadpan. I don't know, like you know what I mean. Otherwise, it's just like a fantastical recollection. If you go like, I was falling down the stairs, and suddenly the creature with the spindly fingers. There is somebody that reads it like that though, and I forget what their channel name is. But like, yeah, something like that, right? Because that's more fantastic. And I don't know. If you ask me, I'd like swap between the both. But then like story wise, I feel like it's between actually no. What did I get? I meant to say 7 to 8. More like a 7. Like maybe like a 7.2. Yeah. I'm so evil for fucking doing this. I swear. I feel so evil. I don't know why. Just like giving scores. Like yeah, I'm a nobody. Just saying, I'm a nobody. My score doesn't matter. But like yeah, uh, I mean, if this is his thing though, if this is like his thing, like what he's going for, it's a 10. It's a 9 or 10, maybe like a 9.5, somewhere around there. I can't make up, man. But it's pretty good. Cause like I don't remember. I think I watched Mr. Creepypasta or whatever or something. I don't know. Not Creeps MC Pasta. Yeah, I usually don't watch it unless I do and I just haven't noticed. Or unless unless these are two different people. I watched this guy.
What if these were
Wait. He already got the baby! He's already clickbaity! Non-stop horror radio. Nice.
What if
Nice.
these were
Okay, now that'd be more illegal if I fucking stream this fucking stream. Dude. Yikes. Anyways, story-wise, I'd give the story like between a 6 and a 7. More like I'm leaning more towards a 7 though, like an actual 7, like a flat out 7. Maybe like a 6.97. Uh, but yeah, it was like Men in Black. The way the story was written in the beginning, and how just a little like the little weirdness is just there, right? Inconsistencies. There we go, right? And like for example, like oh, I'm gonna grab his ID and stuff and all that. Like, I mean, if you think about it from like after this reading the story, you understand it, right? But like, say like you didn't read the story, like, and like you were like me or hear it or something, right? You probably would conclude that like that's irrational. Like, why would you just take an ID and the other thing, the other item that you took? Why not the whole wallet? That way, like you don't look like a weirdo, right? But then again, I don't know. I mean, that's what I do, honestly. Like, what if like the wallet is like important? Like, I'm thinking of this more like from a criminal, like a forensics sort of thing, right? Because like if this is like, because at the time you didn't know it was a creature, right? Until you saw the blood and stuff. I guess you kind of did. There was some words and stuff that you, like. I mean, it's more like a forensics thing. Like, what if the wallet is necessary to like confirming, oh yeah, you didn't kill this guy, or oh yeah, you actually were in the back rooms, like the Men in Black randomly showing up and whatever. And yeah, the other thing is the Men in Black thing. pisses me off. He's like, oh my gosh, that's so cliche. I'm just kidding. No, that's dumb. Cause like, it's just like really, just like I mean, in a way, it's kind of like weird, and in another way, it's like I can see for like a creature sort of thing, right? Cause like there's sometimes like I've like I'm trying to think of story. I guess like the rake had like one like there's some random ass story I heard online or something. Like I can't remember. It's like on I can't remember the channels I used to watch. These stories here. Let's read this stories. There's some others guy. It's a guy that had a green or something. You know, it's not Mr. Nightmare. Oh fuck. Okay, hopefully that doesn't get me. Yikes. You guys didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. Fuck, who was it? Being scared? Was it this guy? Did he change his logo? I think he did. Let's read is another good one. Busta, yeah, that's the other British guy I was talking. Not corpses, man. Not gonna lie, that's it's not chills. What the fuck? I mean, I watch chills on this channel. I don't know who it is. This is not Mr. Creepybuster, the guy that I just watched. The god. I think it's like being scared. I think it's this guy. Let's see his playlist. There used to be a guy that had like a campfire sort of thing, kind of like this one.
$67. You can
Kind of like a campfire playing in the background.
And you never need to pick up a camera.
It was like live too. Yeah, I think it is this one. And he used to do like he did like a marathon or something like that of like 12 hours of scary stories and whatnot. Yeah, murder. Yikes. Uh, Anyways, yeah. Uh, that's it, I guess. So yeah, I gave it like a 6.9 out of 7. Blah blah blah. The story was pretty alright. Pretty alright. It's nice. It's distinctive enough to like warrant, right? It's just like I'd say, like if you want to listen to it, you can listen to it. And yeah. With that said, next time I'm doing a scary stream is not next week or anything. I don't do these often. I do these like once a month. Oh fuck! It's no. I'm just kidding. Actually, no. It is gonna be like next week. Fuck. Oh no, this is like 3 weeks. Because last week I did mine on like when? Um, I forgot. Today's June. I thought we were still in May. That's why I did this. Uh oh. That's a conflict of interest. Usually I like doing these once a month, but I guess we'll have like a twice a month special. I don't know. This is just like a little extra bit that'll be added to the next bit. So, hello YouTube, whenever this gets uploaded. This is 6/1/2021, 11:47 p.m. 13 minutes from 12 a.m. No, it's too early. I'd rather have like a second day either ways, because I would go to like 3 a.m. You know what? It is June. I'm gonna go to 3 a.m. next time. I swear I am. We're gonna have like a creepypasta, maybe 2. Of course I'm gonna rap the same way with both of them. Maybe I'll give them a score. Maybe I won't. I don't know. It depends how I, just like live with myself. Like, oh, I scored something online. Like, people are gonna scrutinize me now. uh, And let's see, I'll put on chills. Yeah. Okay, let's plan it. Let's actually plan it. Let's plan it. When should this be? When should this be? Because I only do these once a month, and honestly, I like them. I like them. Not gonna lie, I like them. I believe I'm gonna repeat that. We can't do it this Saturday. I'll tell you that right now. I don't want to do it the 20th. Let's say before the 20th. Uh, so I'm leaning more like Wednesday the 16th. Uh, I'll tell you this. I'll give you the day range instead, because like my schedule is. I feel like it's gonna turn highly volatile, just because I'm gonna get like lazy or something dumb like that. So anywhere from not this week, next week from the 7th to like the 16th. Because Thursday, Friday, I feel like those are gonna be good days to like do something. Maybe like a coding stream or something like that. I don't know. Like I feel like last week's coding stream, because I usually try to do one like every 2 weeks now. I'm changing that up now. Was supposed to be the hard gold thing, but I don't think we're gonna get through hard gold or through the first gym until like next week. Maybe I'll do like a semi coding stream. I don't know. So I like doing coding streams too, but like, here's the thing: I don't know what the fuck to code. Like, what am I gonna make? And like, my coding is pretty simple. I don't know. It's just count, send. That's it. Anyways, yeah. Thank you so much for coming by, and yeah. I guess like if you want to hit the follow button, hit the follow button. Otherwise, that's fine. Please do subscribe and like the video that we just watched. I guess the forest demon can't. That sounds like a shit post, bro. No way. I guess the forest demon can't swim. Oh god, that sounds like a shit post. Not gonna lie. Anyways, yeah. Maybe I'll watch that next time. Who knows? Yeah. Thank you so much for coming by. And I don't know. Again, I won't set a date. Maybe like once like I'm finished with this week, I'll finalize a day or something. And yeah. Thank you so much again, and goodbye, good day, good night, whatever it is, right? Yeah, goodbye. For real this time, not like with one maker. Yeah, bye.